What's up guys, Marco here, and in today's video I want to review some of your stores. You remember that roughly 1 month ago I made a video where you could send some links to your store and I would review them and help like where you're not getting that many sales, what you could do better and how to improve in general with your store. And now I want to review like probably 2 or 3 of the stores depending on how much time we have, so that you have a better idea on how to improve your conversions and get more sales. Now, of course, even if your store wasn't picked, I'm sure that you will also learn quite a lot from the reviews that I make for the others. So let's jump right into the video and get started with the reviews.
I grew tired of that. I grew eyes on my back. They drew iron when I drew rhymes. So who's firing back? Told myself, keep your mind on them rats. Knowing damn well this shit's true.
So the first one I'm gonna have a look at here is Gift Idea SOT. And the first thing that becomes very clear when I enter this page is that the header here is just really huge. I mean, I have to scroll down and scroll down a little more and then scroll down and then I see the first product. So this picture here doesn't really add value. I mean, sure, it's a present, so it looks kind of nice, but you could make it, first of all, much smaller. And you should also think about probably adding something like a product already, or adding some really cool image, and also change the font here a little bit. So I checked it on mobile and there it also wasn't that great, so you should definitely check this out as well. But the first thing I would really change is the huge header that you have right here. Now let's see what happens if I click shop now, because I didn't do that before. I just had a very brief look at the stores I'm looking at. And okay, you get right to the different product pages, that's all fine, but let's get just back to the landing page again, because unusual gifts for women, right? It's a general kind of store, but it's targeted for women, and the color scheme and everything looks very dark, not that clean. It kind of looks old-fashioned, not really modern. And if I scroll down here, we see that the footer, all kind of stuff is going on. Like you have green, yellow, you have this teal right here, you have, it's very dark, but it's also very messy. Like if I go to this page, it's not really clear what's happening and what's going on. You have an email here, of course, that's great. If you can, you might also think about adding a phone number, because from my experience, the more information you add about your business, the more trust you can get. But I would say that this is definitely not the main problem. So on the first page, it's clear that you should rework, redesign your website, because right now it doesn't look too professional and also kind of boring, and especially with the color scheme that you use. So let's just go to a random product here. Let's say, I don't know, this baby here with the elephant thing, and see what we have right here. Okay, it's waiting, and yeah, okay, so this is the product page, typical conversion rate optimization elements right here. The first thing that comes up to my mind is that the product description is very standard. I mean, this looks like a slight modification of the AliExpress description. You probably left some of the stuff out, and then you have a very short 1-sentence description. Now I see that especially cheaper products and products that aren't that complex, there isn't too much that you can write about them. I mean, I understand that you cannot always write a whole novel for a very normal item, but right here, you know, women are typically, I mean, they're typically quite passionate about their babies, right? So if a mother wants to buy something for their baby, it's probably not something that she, you know, doesn't really care about. So you could definitely talk about how this helps, you know, sleeping, and how this calms down the baby or whatever. I have no idea, but I'm sure that you can definitely make the whole product appeal much better in the eye of the mother or whoever is buying this product, but most likely women. So this is something that you can definitely improve. Right now people come on it, and yes, you have these conversion rate elements, but it's not really emotionally selling. Like you have the theoretical things in place, but I think if someone goes to this page, it's a very emotional product in a way, but the way you sell it is definitely not. So you should focus on adding some more cool descriptions. Of course, if you can somehow use the video, this would be great, so that they can see the product from different angles, and you know, probably someone's maybe sleeping with it, but it kind of depends on your supplier or whether you're willing to do some videos by yourself. But this is the main advice that I would give you for your product pages. So sure, you have these badges in place, you know, you have you have you have some reviews here. The next great thing that would be amazing if you can implement it is if you can create some kind of feed from one of your social media channels. So let's say that at some point you get some customers who buy your product. I would ask them, and there are also some apps for this, I would ask them about a picture or even a video with their product in exchange for, let's say, a future discount. And then you can collect these pictures and these images and videos right at the bottom here in a gallery from, for example, your Instagram page, or especially pictures and videos from this particular product right down here below. So this is definitely something that can help you improve conversions. Like I said, right now it's very static, very normal. I would make it a little more personal. I would redesign the website, make it a little more appealing for your target group, which are women, and work on the descriptions and the overall information on your page. I see that when I click add to cart, I get right to the cart page, which is pretty good. So it's not just somewhere popping up here, but I would also think about some upsells so that if you click the add to cart button, you are presented with like, hey, buy $20 worth of stock and you get, I don't know, discount or whatever, because I assume that you have free shipping already. So yeah, this was the first website. I hope that you are happy with this little review that I could make from just looking at your store. So let's move right on to the second store. So the second store I'm gonna have a look at is NeckX right here. And now I have to say I didn't look at this store even once. And the first thing that comes to my mind when I go here is that there is a lot of stuff going on. Like on the right hand side, we have this Facebook Messenger button that we have to close. Then of course, yeah, sure, we have this cookie policy thing. But then we still have this Messenger button here, and we have Sales Pop. So there are a lot of things going on, and for my taste, it's definitely too much. So I would really cut it down. Think whether you really need this immediate pop-up of the Messenger, because normally people don't have any questions or something from the beginning on. Probably you could trigger it after like a certain amount of time, or after they watch the product page for 30 seconds or something, because this is typically when someone really starts to have a question. Yeah, so the landing page itself looks pretty cool. I mean, it's very good design, very modern, totally different to the last store that we have a look at least in this point. I also like that you are featuring these brands, because it's a proven way to increase social proof in a way, and to make your store, or not social proof, but make your store more reliable and make it seem more serious, because obviously people are recognizing these brands, and even though you're not really related to them, they will automatically and subconsciously put some of their popularity onto your brand. So this is a good thing. Also, the fact that you have a phone number right down here, it's pretty cool. I would probably make it a little bigger. And this is definitely a good way to further increase your credibility. However, when it comes to the newsletter, even though this enter your email to get 10% coupon is a good way to get new leads, I have to say that, just as a little notice, this isn't really GDPR compliant. So if you heard about GDPR, I also have a video about this somewhere here that I can also link if you want. GDPR requires that you are clear about what's going to happen if someone subscribes, and in your case, you are saying that they get a newsletter, and technically that they get a discount, and technically you are not allowed to email them with your newest products and stuff on a regular basis if you just told them that they are just gonna get this coupon, because they might think, I'm just getting this coupon and not the newsletter. Of course, it says newsletter here, but at least from what I've heard, and I've also talked with a lawyer, you should be a little more concise, like subscribe to our newsletter and get a 10% coupon as a gift or something. This would definitely be better. Yeah, so the rest here looks pretty fine. Let's go to one of the products. Let's hit shop now, for example. And then we get directed to the category page, and the categories look pretty cool. Like, you have pretty nice images, and I can see that people are actually interested in clicking it. So let's go on to the next one. Same here, I'd probably reduce the size of the banner a little bit, because everything that causes people to scroll and to make more clicks and whatever, it's basically distracting them. So when they decided for this category, from my experience, it's not really necessary to have this big of a banner so that people then have to scroll down, especially on mobile, they have to scroll down then. And it's typically better to start with the product right above the fold so that they can get to their desired product very, very quickly. If we go right here, we see quick view, and I made a video about improving your site speed, and I heard that quick view actually really can delay your site, and in this case it seems that it's not working either. So you might think about removing it entirely. And now let's go to one of the products directly. So free shipping, limited quantity available, don't miss out. The boho harness chain bracelet fits with all outfits, and it's okay. So I assume that the description should here, and it's with all outfits, and it's so popular. Yeah, well, sure. I mean, it looks pretty. The product page itself looks pretty okay, but few things. First of all, you cannot have a fashion store or an accessory store with only one picture of the product. In this case, you should shoot it from different angles. There should be more shots of the product. Whenever you see a store that sells this kind of products, you always have a model and at least 4 or 5 pictures. Now, this is not necessary for absolutely everything, but clearly, if you want to sell fashion-related products, no women or very few women would buy something by just seeing one tiny picture of it. So this is relatively rare, and you would definitely increase your chances by adding more pictures. So probably 2 or 3 pictures from a woman wearing it, and then 1 or 2 pictures from the bracelet itself without any person. Then the description, I mean, free shipping, limited quantity available, don't miss out. Well, this sounds a little not that convincing. I mean, if this is your main USP, the reason for buying your product, this is a little bit weak. So what I would focus on is like the appearance of this thing, and free shipping is definitely huge. You should keep it, but I would probably make it a line by itself, like $12.95, and then right below that free shipping, and then some description like talking about the actual bracelet and why it's so cool and what people need to know about it. Because right now it's it's not even, the sentence looks a little bit weird, and also the fact that it's cut off. Some people might be a little confused that out of nowhere the sentence ends and they don't realize that you have to scroll down, and then here in the middle of the description it goes on. It's not really the best way to present it, and that's pretty sure that this is not the best way to present it. So if we look for returns and delivery, well, of course, it would be better if you don't use the Gmail address, but I think it's not that important in this case because the other things that I mentioned are definitely having a bigger impact. Delivery, well, sure, typical things that we have right here. Related product section looks pretty good with, the usual stuff going on. Let's have a quick look at the About section as well, because this is something that is pretty important to many customers. Whenever I look into Google Analytics, I realize that a lot of people go to the About section, and this is a typical About section that can be found in probably 90% of all dropshipping stores. What I recommend is to at least add some kind of product, some kinds of pictures, and make it a little more alive. I mean, in your case, probably you don't really want to show your face. Probably, you're not really that much 100% behind this particular business, and you cannot really tell like, hey, we're hustling 10 hours a day in this business, and it's our big thing, and we love it, and all this stuff, because probably it's just one random dropshipping store that you want to push. But you still should give the impression of standing behind this project, and probably adding some pictures and stuff like this to make the customer feel more comfortable buying something, especially when your target group are girls. You should make everything a little more appealing in this manner. So the main takeaways for this store here are clearly that you should work on your images, clearly on your description. This is probably even more important in this particular case. And then this should also be improving compared to what it looks right now. Alright, so the last store I want to review and improve with this advice now is Online Shopping Joy. And the first thing that came to my mind when I entered the store is that after a few seconds I got a pop-up with a discount, and this is something that you should absolutely avoid. I mean, it makes sense, giving someone a discount to encourage this person to buy something, but in reality, if you give someone a pop-up right after they enter your store, they're immediately annoyed. No one, or very few people, are going to sign up for your discount or your newsletter in general the moment they enter your store. They don't know you, they don't know whether you have interesting products, they don't know whether they want to buy anything. So asking them for their email address right from the beginning on is typically a very bad way to go. So I would remove that and either make it an exit intent coupon, or make it pop up after like 30 seconds or 60 seconds or something like this, because definitely right now it's doing more harm than good. The next thing is, the top bar right here, it looks pretty unprofessional. Like the store itself looks pretty clean. I assume it's the normal Brooklyn theme. And the green bar here looks very unprofessional and doesn't fit in. I mean, it clearly stands out, which is important, of course, but I would still make it a different color, probably some orange or something, but a decent orange. And I would also change the text, because this it's very, very small. I also don't really like the font. Probably you could come up with like an orange bar and some white font where it looks a little more fresh and a little better. Make it a little bigger so that people really see, okay, free worldwide shipping, great stuff. So this to my first impression right here. I really like the header right here, floating shelves. This looks pretty cool. So let's scroll down and okay. So yeah, when looking at the product, this really you cannot really keep it like this. I mean, you have really, really long titles. Europe style 9 pieces per set, black, white, vintage photo frame wall. I mean, this is not really how your product titles should look like. I see that it makes some kind of sense from an SEO perspective, but also not really. I mean, you enter some keywords in there, and probably these are just the AliExpress default product titles. You should definitely change that. I mean, you should probably have a title of 3 to 6 words or something, and depending on how much sense it makes in the individual case. But right now, people, after reading like 1 or 2 of your product titles, they're gonna be annoyed or tired and don't want to go with it, because they always have to find out what it really is. I mean, they see the picture, but then artificial plants, bonsai, small tree, pot plants, fake flowers, potted ornaments for home decoration, household garden decor. Yeah, well, you know, you get kind of overwhelmed with all the text, so you should clearly remove that and make it better so that people can read it more easily and are actually more enticed to click to the product. Yeah, well, here we have a newsletter, but without any incentive. So basically the opposite to the last one, where it says get a 10% discount, but without mentioning the newsletter. The way you put it is GDPR compliant, at least from this point of view. But you should also add some incentive, like subscribe to our newsletter and get a 5% discount as a free gift or something like that. Because right now, like I said, very, very few people will sign up for a newsletter just because, you know, they scrolled through a store. You have to give them a reason to do so. And this is either because they are so interested in your store and because your content, your products, your brand is so great, or because they want to get something in return. But if you just say, you know, if you're just a normal dropshipping store saying subscribe to our newsletter, this is typically something that 99.9% of people just wouldn't do. So this is something that I would work on as well. And while I don't really understand the reason for this send us a message thing, you know, 2 of these forms below each other, I would probably rather have your email address somewhere in the footer, probably also your phone number, and then some things like contact us or stuff like that on an individual page. Probably you have it right here in the menu. Oh yeah, you have all kind of things here. Yeah, you see already a problem that this is kind of overlapping, so you should work on this as well. Yeah, so let's also here go to one of these crazy long product title products then. Okay, so you have a black white, a white blue, a white black wood, a black. Well, to be honest, I'm a little confused what these products really are. I mean, probably I'm just a little bit silly at this point, and this is my fault. But a white black wood, I'm not entirely sure. Oh, wait, okay. A black and white, a white and blue. So yeah, okay, I was just reading it the wrong way. It makes sense now. So this is a black and white set. This is a white and blue set. This is a white black wood set. Okay. So the product itself looks actually pretty nice, and I've definitely seen it before somewhere, so it's a pretty nice product. You could work on your product listing for sure. I mean, the first thing, all these pictures below each other, this really enlarges your landing page in a like way too much. Also, you don't even have a review extension installed, so you should definitely do that. Even if someone buys something, that at least you give them the opportunity to make a review. And then of course you just have the AliExpress normal description, and this is really, really bad at selling. I mean, no one's gonna buy a product just because of this info. I mean, model number, XK059 brand name Cheng BVSS. No one knows what this means and no one knows what it does. So this is definitely not how you can convince someone to buy a product. You can keep some of them, like material, probably also style, probably also, I don't know, shape or something, or sizes, which are quite important in this for this product. But the rest should really be normal sales copy that sells your product and talks about the product and the benefits if you want. I know that this can be difficult, but something like this is just super counterproductive, and in combination with this very long page with all these pictures below each other, this just, and then the very long title, this just creates a very unprofessional look. So I would really work on all these things. Probably you can also adjust your pricing a little bit, like 136.74. From a pricing psychology point of view, you know, you want to keep fairly simple prices. I'm definitely not a psychologist, but what I've read is that people like to, you know, have prices that are easy to pronounce and that are short. So for example, $150. This is very easy to say, this is very easy to read, and 136.74 is quite complicated, and it also looks kind of unnatural. So it may stand out, but it looks quite unnatural, and you would also work on this pricing as well. So yeah, this basically was my feedback to this store. Like I said, also a lot to improve. The way I picked these were just by sorting the comments from oldest to newest, and then going from the oldest to the newest. There was also one German store, and sorry for not reviewing that, but you know, I thought it would be a little too difficult to review a German store, because a lot of the things when it comes to copy and stuff like that was a little harder to explain. I also hope that you get some value out of this here today. And sure, this was just an honest review for your stores, so I hope that you take it easy, and I hope that you learned something and not just that I'm bashing your stores or anything. So yeah, really hope that it helped. If it did, so please leave a like, please subscribe to this channel, and also in this video, of course, you have the opportunity again to list your stores for the next video that I will make quicker than this one, because the actual announcement video was like 1 month ago. So if you have a store to review as well, doesn't really matter in which stage you are, put it in the comments and I will consider to review it in the next video. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope that you learned something. Like I said, please subscribe, add me on Snapchat that you can see right here down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.